Good morning. Feels good to be the first speaker after the keynote. It's going to be a roller coaster the next hour, the coming 60 minutes. You have 200 slides, and we're going through it in a fast pace. Blending AI with Umbraco. When I submitted this session back in January, I was thinking, if I was the chief AI of Umbraco, what would I do with AI within Umbraco? And that was the starting point of my, my presentation. The designers thought my dreams about AI looked like this, so let's go for that. In the next hour, I hope to inspire you all. I want to dream with you about the future, what the future could look like, and hopefully start a conversation during the Q&A or after this session about what we should do with AI within Umbraco. So please speak to me tonight, tomorrow, in the afternoon or something like that. What I'm not going to do in this talk is focus on the specific details, which model is the best, how we should implement it, or think in stuff that isn't possible right now. Because AI is moving so fast, what cannot be done yesterday maybe can be done tomorrow. It's crazy. It was also really hard preparing this session because everything is moving so fast. To introduce myself shortly, I'm Jeffrey Schoemaker. If you're Dutch, and otherwise Jeffrey Shoemaker will do. I've been working with Umbraco since 2010, back in the days of Umbraco 4. I've been an Umbraco MVP, and I've been dreaming a lot about Umbraco for the last 14 years. I've been dreaming about user management, security, and also about new features that could be built within Umbraco. I work at Perplex. Perplex is a full-service digital agency, proud platinum partner of Umbraco, and we created several packages in the past. Some of my favorites, some don't work anymore, but some are still really cool. And I also co-founded the U-Marketing Suite. And if you don't know the U-Marketing Suite, definitely check it out. It's the marketing toolbox for Umbraco. And the cool thing about the U-Marketing Suite, it was sparked after my session 5 years ago, when I was upstage sharing my dreams, and I felt a good energy from the crowd on the U-Marketing Suite, and so we decided to build that and make it a sustainable package for the future of Umbraco. Enough about me. Let's go to AI. I will do not a general introduction of AI, because everybody in this room probably knows AI and used AI. But AI can help with a lot of stuff, and we're going to focus on that stuff, the boring tasks, the repetitive tasks, stuff that you don't want to do, but leave it to AI. And hopefully AI can do it faster, or better, or easier. And a quote that I really like is that AI is the colleague that is never stuck in a Teams meeting and never gets bored. You can keep asking it every time of the day, and it will never get bored. It will never say, no, sorry, no time. It will always be there. What a great colleague. If we look to AI and Umbraco at this moment, we are doing pretty good, according to the blog post. I don't know if you've seen this, but Umbraco CMS won in 2023 in 5 categories. One of them, best AI solution in a CMS. We beat all the other systems. Yeah! But I think we can do a bit better than that and win it next year as well. We have the impact report that Umbraco wrote, and there's a chapter about AI in Umbraco. And Philip, the CTO, says, we encourage our community to experiment, provide feedback, and help us stay on track. And that's what I'm doing over here. Providing feedback, experiment, and hopefully bring it a bit further. If you go to the marketplace and you look for AI, right now, or yesterday, we found 16 packages. 5 of them are wrong because of the algorithm. I don't think there's any AI in it, at least not what I discovered. But we're seeing packages created lately around AI. I think the last one was of Joe Capley, the alt text integration. I had to change my presentation last week. Thank you for that. No problem. But I think we're doing okay. But if you compare to other CMSs, well, what some of them are doing is this. Putting sauce on every feature that they have within the system, and then on the box, in the back, a bit more AI on it, and well, it's not really useful. We don't want to be that CMS, but we want to have a CMS where it adds functionality. And I've been checking out all the other CMSs that everybody knows. Here are a few of them, but also others, to see what they are doing and what we can, or what inspired me to do in Umbraco. So, we're going to dive into my dreams about what we can do within Umbraco with AI. So, step into my dreams, and that can be a bit scary for me, but for you as well, because you know dreams can be intense, it can be illogical. Some you remember tomorrow, some you forget, and that's okay with dreams. Doesn't need to fit perfectly. We're going to touch a lot. I left a lot out as well, but as I said, let's start a conversation afterwards. So step into my dreams. They look like this, an AI chip. And we're gonna look what that AI chip can do for us. And before we can do that, the most important thing is that AI is not a magic wand. Some believe that AI is a magic wand, and it can generate a lot of stuff. But it needs context and guidance to create useful stuff. So that's the first thing that we need to put into the system to create relevant output. And you can think about tone of voice, personas that come to your website, style guides, brand guidelines, stuff like that. So AI knows about your site or what you try to achieve, so it can create a relevant output that's relevant for your website and wouldn't fit on another website. And the more context AI has, the more relevant the output is. And you can optimize that afterwards. You can even change it after a few years, and maybe AI can adapt your content or your website to an adapted or new tone of voice. And to do that, it could be as simple as this. Just a note, AI context, where we put in a tone of voice, if you have that. Can be a written text, could be documents, just put it in there, and AI will use that to do its stuff. Could be something like that. Nothing fancy per se, but it helps generating better context. But what if you don't have a tone of voice because you never thought about a tone of voice on your website? Well, then we can generate it, of course, with AI. Let's go back to Umbraco, and there we have a button on the top right corner, generate context. If we click that, maybe we can tell AI, okay, these are 3 blog items or 3 content pages that I really like. Please get some tone of voice out of it, or some brand guidelines or something like that. You had 3 fantastic blog posts. It can generate a tone of voice if you want. Ask it to AI. We've all done that in ChatGPT, and it comes up with something really good. Or really good, depends. We put it in the rich text editor, and you can optimize it from there. It can be as easy as that. But what if what AI generated wasn't exactly what we expected? Well, we need some buttons, and I don't know if anyone ever worked with Microsoft Copilot in Word, but they look probably familiar, but there are a few options. If AI generated something, we can keep it. It's okay, we like it. We can discard it. Okay, that was crap, I'm going to write my own tone of voice or whatever. The cool thing of AI is it's non-deterministic. That was the hardest word of this presentation for me, and I did it correctly. But you can regenerate it as long as you want, and maybe it gets better. If it doesn't get better after 2 or 3 times, maybe you should adjust it. give it some more input. Maybe go a bit left, go a bit right, do a bit more of this or a bit more of that. And when we have a new version of the generated AI, we can switch between, okay, the previous version was maybe a bit better, or the second version was better, and then keep that. And that's, of course, the beauty of AI. It can generate as much as you want. So once again, we put in some URLs that we really like. It's generating a tone of voice, and then we can decide, okay, we want to keep this, we want to regenerate anything, or we want to prompt to make it better. This can be applied to everything from now on, I guess, these buttons. They won't show up everywhere, but we need interaction with AI to do it like that. So, important, the first thing is give AI context, so what we're generating, that's gonna be cool. So back to my dreams, ta-da, we gave it a brain that's specific for our website or the specific for the company that we've created. And then we can look into specific features, like SEO. A year ago, when ChatGPT was a big thing and new for everyone, we created a Perplex AI assistant. And what it did was it could create meta titles and meta descriptions based on the page that you have. We saw that a lot of content editors have problems writing good meta titles and meta descriptions, or find it boring or forget it. Well, AI can help. And what we did, we introduced a little robot. When you click it, the HTML is sent to ChatGPT, and you get back 3 options. Because that's, of course, the beauty of AI as well. It can generate as much as you want. You can pick one, and then it's up to you. AI is sleeping again. You can change it, you can update it, you can do whatever you want. But we can do more. But the AI assistant was focusing on the meta title and the meta description. But we have options like this, no follow and no index. That's also in most websites that I see. It can help us whether it should be checked or not. We see a lot of content editors forgetting that. For example, on a thank you page, they forget to check the no index and they show up in the search engines. AI can help with that. AI can help you create a good URL. If you say on what keyword you want to rank, well, AI can generate a good URL instead of just using the node title. It can create structured data for each page. Just send over the HTML, and probably it can send back the schema.org implementation that you need, and just put it out there. All this stuff is not something that a regular content editor can do, and AI can do really quickly. So, important to mention, I left more than enough space for your ideas as well. So hopefully you come back to me with ideas what we can do with SEO as well, and see from there where it's taking us. We had the AI, we had the brain, and now we have SEO as well. An obvious one is, of course, text generation. There's a nice package that came out a few weeks ago, I think 2 or 3 weeks. Also messed up my presentation at that moment, but a premium package for TinyMCE. TinyMCE is the rich text editor that everybody's using. This one, you can highlight text, or that's already there, and from there you can click the AI button, and then you can ask to summarize the content, or expand it, or trim the content, change the tone of voice, stuff like that. The AI assistant is generating something, you can insert it, or you can try again, or discard. And what you see over here they are using different buttons than we did in the AI assistant, and we will see more packages, and it becomes confusing, I guess, for the editor, without any guidance, which buttons should we use in which order. We can insert it, and there we have more content. You can also just click the AI button on the top right corner and prompt to ChatGPT, write something about cats in this case. If you like it, then it's okay. If you want to add something else, you can prompt it. That's possible for the rich text editor. You can download it today. Buy a license for TinyMCE Premium and ChatGPT, and it's done. But not every website or every content page is only about rich text editors, and I don't recommend you to do that, only using rich text editor, because we have titles and text strings and text areas as well. But luckily there's another package called Sidekick. And the promise of Sidekick is give it a topic and it will write ChatGPT stuff. Choose a length and beam. There it goes. It looks like this, different button, the Sidekick button. You click it, you specify the topic, and it's generating text. If the text is any quality or any good or anything you wanted, well, that's up to ChatGPT, that's why I think we should start with the AI context at first. We can specify the topic, specify the length of the text, and there we have text. If it's any good. So what do we have right now? We saw 3 packages, one focusing on meta titles and descriptions, one on every rich text editor that there is, and one on text areas and rich text editors. Some prompts are hard-coded, like in the Perplex AI assistant, and some are flexible because you have to write your own prompts. But that only works for a few properties, so not on checkboxes or lists or tags or something like that. The prompting is not really flexible, so I've been dreaming about something better. And probably it will not scale. We had the Perplex AI assistant. Let's install Sidekick as well. Let's install a few more packages. We got a circus in the back office. That's nice, but I don't think that's the friendly CMS that we want it to be. So what I think is that we can make that better with some kind of prompt builder within. For the people in the back, it's a bit small, but you will manage probably. But we have introduced a few icons after each property. And if you click on it or hover over it, that's up to the UI people, we can have predefined prompts, like shorten this title or create a catchy title. Of course, that's depending on what context is already available or what text is on the website. But you can also add new instructions. So, for example, we wrote a title just by doing what we always did, come up with a title. But maybe we want to let ChatGPT create an introduction. Maybe we can create a prompt, a new instruction, and we say, okay, please use the title to create an introduction. We can generate an example, and if we think, this is cool, then we can save this prompt so we can reuse it later, or other editors on this specific property can reuse this. This is also how Sanity, a different CMS, is working, and I think it's really attractive and comes with a lot of flexibility. You can write your own prompts, but the CMS is handling the baseline for you. If we could create something like this, it can replace some of the packages that we saw, like Sidekick and AI Assistant. And of course, there's a pity for the package builders, but I think it's better in the long run. This doesn't work on the RTE, because there you could highlight in the RTE as well, so we have to come up with something other. But this makes it scalable, doesn't turn your back office into a circus, and we can have as many prompts as we want, depending on the website. And these are some of the examples that you could write. It could be really short, like write more or summarize or shorten, stuff like that. But it could also be write a good title, and these are the requirements, please do this or that, and we can optimize it from there. It's up to you. But I think that brings in a new problem, because then we have a content page with text, AI text, and we don't know what was AI, or did we write it ourselves. If it's good, we always say we wrote it ourselves, and otherwise it would be AI. But I think it's useful if we could track it in the back office. Per property, like this, title and text, we can see, okay, this was generated with AI and no human touched it. So if we come back later, or my colleague is looking at the content, it knows, okay, that was AI generated and that not. Should be subtle, because the back office is not about AI, but if we have an indication and we can track that, we can do stuff later. And not only, and this is really subtle, on a property level, but even on a page level. In the content tree on the left, you see a small icon. If this whole page was generated by AI, and people are doing that actually at this moment, maybe track that that whole page was generated by AI. Just with a small indicator. I cannot stand here because the sun is exactly in my face at that moment. Oh, there it was. So we have a basis. We have a prompt builder. We have indication if stuff was generated by AI. And from there we can dream on. And everybody has some ideas in their head right now. It could be about translation. Translating the whole website at once. We did that before ChatGPT would translate Google stuff. But you never had the indication, was it generated or translated automatically, or did any human touch it? It could be on specific pages, dictionary items, stuff like that. There are 2 packages out there. Check them out if you're interested in this. Diplo translator, and Kevin Jump created this one to integrate with this translation manager. So I'm not diving into that for now. What I would like to dive into is a bit of social posting. Nowadays, I barely write my social posts myself. I come up with a draft, give it to ChatGPT, and then I think, okay, this is better than what I could write. Because we're in the CMS and we want to share our newest blog post or news article or whatever, we have the tone of voice already available within the CMS. Well, probably it can create really good social posts, or if not, we can make it better over time. And there's a difference if you're posting something on LinkedIn, probably a bit more professional, or an X, more developer-minded in my case. Well, AI can manage that, of course, and be aware of that. And also there are different requirements. I have a content app, or I visualized a content app. I don't have a content app. I have PowerPoint at this moment. With a social post content app, and there for X in this case, I created a short text, or AI created a short text, it has specific requirements, and a media item that is suited for developers. And maybe for the same blog post, I can create, or let AI automatically create something for LinkedIn as well. Can be a bit longer, other hashtags, nice other picture with different requirements. They change from social medium to social medium, something like that. And AI can help us with that. Creating this, if we like it, we can post it. If we don't like it, we can regenerate it or adjust it if we want. So when it comes to text generation, we got a lot of stuff that we can do, is going on, but I think the prompt builder is something that we should dream of after this session. Back again, here we have text generation. When it comes to media, of course, we all have an idea of what we could do with media. As I said, Joe created this package, alt text AI generation. As soon as you upload an image, an alt text is generated automatically. You don't have to do anything. Really useful because I don't know a lot of content editors that like to write alt text. Specific for that property, but if we could imagine a prompt builder, it can be done for an alt text, but also for a title, for example. But also if you, in your specific case, have tags or something like that on a media item, well, we can ask it to AI, and probably it can generate some good text as well. So the basis allows us to do stuff like this as well. But if you look at image manipulation, what we can also imagine is if we upload the image, it can automatically set the focus point. We did some prompting, and AI is pretty good at that, because people sometimes forget to set the correct focus point, and you have weird crops with people's head cut off on mobile, stuff like that. Well, let AI do that job, and we can fix it if we want to. Or it can outscale images. We all have been there, that you upload an image that's too small and then it gets sized, etc. But AI can fix that. It can outscale, make it bigger, but it can also upscale the quality if you don't like that. We've seen AI tools doing that. Why not integrate it into the CMS? Could look something like this. Okay, nice. The focus point thing has the icon on it, so you know it was set automatically, and we have automatically given good crops, even if the image was too small. It says it was too small, I outscaled it, perhaps you should check it. When it comes to the media library, generating new images, at this moment that's not the best idea, or everybody, when they see a generated AI image, they say, that's a generated AI image, but what will happen in 2 months or within a year? Maybe that makes sense, but again, with the prompt builder, we can generate images based on some specific properties on the page. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. Probably it can help indicating duplicate images better than we can, organize the media library, or if you take it even a step further, maybe we don't need to organize the media library anymore. AI can give us the best image, and if you don't like it, create a new image. I was given only 1 hour, so I'm not diving into that for too long, because that's a session worth on its own. But we have a lot of stuff for media. There it is. I look around and I see a lot of developers here as well. And if developers create a document type, they most of the time look like this. Yes. A nice icon, no descriptions, who needs descriptions, and just short labels, because that's the easiest to work with. We sometimes forget it, and then we see content trees like this with all the nice shiny icons. Sometimes you have project managers or clients fixing that, but AI can do a pretty good job as well. Over here, let's introduce an AI assist. Send over the document type, and maybe it can help suggesting an icon, writing descriptions. As long as we're giving it the correct context or which icons are available, probably it can pick it better. So here's the icon fixed. It can also create a description for us, and also descriptions on the properties. So it's helpful for the content editor, but eventually, when it's generating text, of course, it's also helpful for AI, if it knows what it's supposed to create for that specific property. So it works both ways, I guess. And maybe we can even take this a step further. Because if I say I'm going to create a document type called blog post, then we all know which properties I'm going to create. It's going to be a title, an author, an intro, publication date, stuff like that. And if I know, AI probably knows even better. So a small experiment that I did was, okay, I'm the best Umbraco developer out there. Please create document types for me. I think it was for Umbraco.com or a website with a blog. And ChatGPT told me, okay, probably you need a homepage. The description of the document type could be this. This is the icon that you want. Do I need to allow it as root? Because I told ChatGPT how the structure of Umbraco works and which child document types are allowed. It can do that. You see, it is not correct all the time because the blog is allowed at the root as well. But it's pretty good, and it can do it better and faster than I can, or faster at least. Hopefully not better yet. And if we ask it for that specific document type, okay, create the properties, give me the description, give me the data types, and beam, there it is. I can also create the code for it if we want to, but it can be really useful or something that we can think about when creating new document types. As a developer, it's also really painful always to create test data, and then we have lorem ipsum all over the place, but maybe we can create test data as well. So we can test search or pagination or menu rendering and see if it fits. My friends of Frontis created a nice little package, an Umbraco OpenAI chatbot. You can find it on GitHub, not on the marketplace. And there in the back office, you can ask it, please create 10 pages for a soccer club, and it will create these pages because it knows the content or the context of the Umbraco website, which document types are available, and how Umbraco simply works. Just give it this prompt, and it can do stuff like that, creating blog posts immediately or a whole content tree. It works also with nested content or with nested pages, but I didn't have a screenshot of that, so we have to do it with this for now. What can also be really useful for developers is creating a ChatGPT bot to answer questions on our Umbraco.com. I'm getting old because I'm not on Discord. I don't know how Discord works, so I'm still on our.umbraco.com, but probably it can help over there as well. And I did some nice experimenting, again, telling ChatGPT, you're the best Umbraco developer out there and you want to help the community. Oh, by the way, these are the values of Umbraco. Just copy-pasted it from their website, and I've been feeding it questions. Just copy-paste this into ChatGPT, get an answer back, and put it in there. I named the member UCP, Umbraco Copilot, but not too obvious making it. But people actually mark answers of this person or thing as the solution. I did some curating, so I could answer 4 questions within 20 minutes and also getting a cup of coffee in between. I did some curation because sometimes it's way off and I didn't want to mess up or put people to some really weird conceptions. But that could be really useful. And also if you're in ChatGPT, you already see that there are a lot of custom agents by all kinds of companies, but maybe it's smart, if I was chief of AI of Umbraco, to create one that was curated by Umbraco HQ, or the community. It can help with log viewer. Sometimes you have an error and you cannot think about what it is meaning. Well, you have the context of the website, of course, available. Well, maybe ChatGPT can help you with that. For the people in the back, there's the icon that I was mentioning. And probably it can help with a better logical feedback than the log viewer is doing right now. So also for a developer, there are lots of possibilities that AI can help you with. There it is. Then one of my favorite topics, of course, marketing and personalization. We already see what we can do for marketers. We can help creating metadata, URL, sitemaps, stuff like that. But probably we can do more, like creating better forms. Because what we saw with the document types, we always forget to give it a good error message or a nice description or the validation correct. Nobody flags the sensitive data field, or I don't know anyone that's doing that. But probably AI can help us with that. So here we have a form, name, email, message, consent for storing data. It's a form, but maybe we can make it a bit more friendly and not do it ourselves, but let AI help us. Give it to AI, and it can make a much easier or friendlier form than before, hopefully boosting the conversion of this form. When it comes to personalization, content is always the hardest. We created the marketing suite 5 years ago. It's fantastic, but when people install it, the hardest part at the beginning is creating enough content for doing personalization. Some teams are really good already in it, but probably AI can help us as well. So here we have the marketing suite, we have different personas, and what we would love to do is write different content for each different persona or for each different segment that is attending on the website. Maybe that could look something like this. We go back to the blog post about the cat, and we can start some personalization, and instead writing good titles for each persona or each segment, we can let AI do that. The UI at this moment in the back office is not really fit to do it on a property base, personalize, but that is something that we could discuss as well. But here we let AI create 3 different titles for the different personas or different segments. And we've tested it out just by prompting in ChatGPT, and it actually works really nice. And of course, we can also extend it to A/B testing. And if you think, okay, but what kind of personas do I need for my website? We can generate them as well. As long as we give it the right context, the right stuff to put in there, it can help us generating that at the beginning. So there we go, marketing and personalization as well. It can inspire us. If it can track which search queries are fired, it can give probably better results. You can go into chatbots, for example, and go crazy about that as well. But it can also create content ideas. Hey, we see people searching on this. Just put it into ChatGPT or whatever AI system, and probably it can come up with, hey, these are some really good content ideas. Maybe you should write a blog post, or if you're lazy, let me do it. Because I believe that should live in the CMS, because we have the data available, we know what's already there, we have the search queries. Let's create it from there, instead of going to another system for that. And of course, if you let the system know which keywords you want to rank on, it can help you create content for that stuff as well. So also for inspiration, we can do a lot of stuff as a community or as Umbraco. It can also check quality. It can check the content for accessibility issues, or if you have a specific language proficiency level that you want to have, it can help you with that, or it can optimize that. Of course, the tone of voice, stuff like that. Just put it in there, and before publish, let AI optimize it. It can help you structure the website, if the website becomes too big, for example, or give feedback on the content that you've written. Hey, man or girl, you forgot to add a call to action to your page. Let me fix that for me, or if it's really long. And there we have quality as well. If we go to migration, that's of course interesting as well. Hey man, I have a WordPress website. Can you help me migrate it to Umbraco? And then you have content editors copying it over, or interns. But AI can probably do that as well. Okay, this is the URL. Maybe you should help him a bit, stripping out the HTML or what's not relevant and what is relevant, and put it into the new website. Can be done on a page level, can also be done on a whole website. And I think that's gonna be really interesting, because other CMSs will think about this as well, and maybe then eventually the one with the cheapest hosting wins or something like that. I don't know how it's gonna work, but that can be a bit scary as well. And we've been testing out, upgrading or updating with AI to new major versions, because normally there is an instruction what you should fix and which dependencies are gone and what the better option is. Maybe AI can help us with that as well. So there we have it. Then on to my final topic and my favorite topic, smart pace. At this moment, we've been working in the CMS, generating titles, stuff like that. But I don't believe, and most of us don't believe, that the editor process starts in the CMS. Probably it starts in Word or Google Docs, and then you have it in Word or Google Docs, and then you need to get it into the CMS. So instead of using the generation in the CMS, maybe Word should do that, and then you have a Word or a Google Docs, and then get it into the CMS. And maybe AI can help you with that. Let's say you have this page with titles, and you have a block editor, and you have this blog post. We've all been there. We wrote the blog post, took us several hours or several days, peer reviewing it with your colleague, and then you have to turn it into the CMS. And I always ask somebody else to do that, because I'm a bit afraid of doing that, selecting the right blocks, stuff like that. So we highlight it or select it in the Word document and copy it over. Or first create a block, then copy it over. Then we're highlighting the paragraph, copying it over. Images, oh, I have to save them to disk, upload them in the media folder, etc. It's a dreadful experience for most editors. And then they are done, they copied over the Word document, and then the CMS is asking, oh, please write a meta title as well and a description, and that content editor doesn't know, so it puts something in that is foolish. But probably we can make that easier with AI as well. How cool would it be if we could just select a document, put it in there, and AI is going to fix it? AI can figure out what the title is, which blocks it should be creating. I think it would be really cool if it comes in step by step, so you see some progress, and it gives a better experience for the end user. That would be cool with blocks, so smart-paced. Also with Perplex content blocks, the block editor that we created, but also for pages that are not flexible. For example, this is an event that we had at the office last week. It was an event, and to put that into the CMS, there are all kinds of properties that needs to be filled. Some properties are really easy, but also the duration, for example. Well, on the left you see the event details, and it says it starts at 5 and it ends at 11, but not the duration in hours. And this crazy CMS asked me for that. Probably if we ask AI, okay, this is the content, give me the duration, probably it can fix that for each property that you want. So how cool would it be if we could copy-paste Word or Google Docs into it and let AI figure it out, and also put in the right duration? I believe that would be really cool, saving content editors a lot of time, so they can do something else with their free time, get coffee, or play on an Umbraco foosball table, just enjoying themselves, instead of doing that task. What you could argue is, do we still need a Word document? Or could we just put in some random notes, some drafts, some spoken interview, or something like that, and let AI create something cool out of it? Maybe that should be guided. We did some experimenting where we put in, we want to create a case study for our website, perplex.nl. We had the URL of the go live or of the website that we had. We had the quote. We had an interview with our client. Just put it into AI and say, okay, what is the gist of the of this all, can you come up with a good case study? And maybe we can do that in the CMS as well. Put it in, we have the brain, the tone of voice, we know what case studies we already have, create new stuff. Maybe it should be guided, so first created AI should give us back, okay, which kind of document type do you want to create? Is it a case study or a blog post? Then come up with a title, or maybe 3 titles. If you don't like it, help it a bit, so it can go to the next step in the wizard, and you can fix it a bit to make it better. I have the title, then maybe it can write a nice draft of the site with only of the page with only the headers, and then finally it can create the context. So we don't need Word anymore. We just put in some random stuff, some ideas that you had under the shower or on the bike, put it in there, and AI can help us creating cool content. So, with that said, I have a lot, and I believe it's a lot, but it also are a lot of opportunities that we can create. And if you fill that in, we have this, but probably you have even more ideas what we can do. So please see me afterwards. And when there are dreams, there are also nightmares or concerns, and just a few minutes to go through them as well. First of all, ethics or privacy. We're sending over all kinds of data. Should we leave that to ChatGPT? Should we come up with something better? But that's a concern that we need to think about or discuss with each other. Should we tell the visitor that they are reading AI-generated content or not? I don't know yet. Sometimes I definitely have the feeling that I'm reading AI-generated content, but sometimes it's more subtle. But also if AI is generating something that is not correct, who is responsible? Was it the package maker? Was it AI? Was it the website owner? Well, those are things that are relatively new to everyone, so we should think about that. But maybe it makes sense on this page to say, okay, this article is created with the help of the AI, just so you know. And then the visitor can decide for themselves to read or not. If you're interested in nightmares or concerns or AI going rogue, later today, Matt Sutherland is also over here at 3:15, speaking about these topics. I'm a member of the sustainability team, and if you think about AI, sustainability is a thing. It was a thing, it still is a thing, and it's going to be a thing. Everything uses so much energy, water to cool the data center, stuff like that. And we should have a discussion, is it worth it? Should we make every idea that I had into a package, creating or using all that energy, or doesn't it make sense? It's really hard to find out how much energy ChatGPT is really using. Here I found it uses more than 500,000 kilowatt hours of electricity daily. I have no idea how much that is, but I scrolled a bit further. Each query, so each time you prompt ChatGPT, it consumes the equivalent amount of energy of running a 5-watt LED bulb for an hour. So each query, 1 hour. So we should definitely make good queries or minimize the prompts that we're firing off. And maybe if it saves an hour, because I can go outside into the sun, I don't need the light bulb, but we should be aware of this and the impact that it has on the environment. Also, we need to be KPI driven, because we should find out, is AI really performing better, or is it just generating clickbait? And people click on it, but then they think, okay, this is bullcrap. And hopefully, and that's my dream, authentic, well-written content will still score better than AI-generated. But let's see if we see each other in a year. And finally, one of the concerns is, where does AI need to live? Should it live in Umbraco or in Word or in any other tool. So it must make sense, so we're not saucing up Umbraco with AI all over the place, but only on the places where you need it. And the cool thing when waking up, that sometimes dreams come true. And remember the smart pace functionality that I just introduced, getting Word into the CMS? We've been thinking at Perplex a lot about that, and after dreaming, there are always two options. You can wake up and go to work, or you can wake up and start coding. And that's exactly what we did. And we need some music for the maestro. Da, 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 da. Or I can sing myself. Yeah, you know. I still have 9 minutes left. No. And AI can fix this as well. Next year, we have an AI AV dude. Awkward. Well, no music. But the movie speaks for itself, and I can fix it. But you know the process of writing it in Word, and then handing it over or getting it into the CMS, copy-pasting from left to right. So we created a package that does exactly this. There it is. And there we have a content editor on a Umbraco football table enjoying their life instead of doing a stupid job. It's amazing. It's really amazing. I have a few colleagues and they said, okay, can we work on some dreams? I said, yeah, but we only have a few days left. And after 2 days they came and they said, we can upload Word and it's creating flexible content blocks, but also on a property level, doing stuff like that. And it's amazing, as I said. It works with text, automatically uploads images. It does those calculated values, for example, dynamic content, and you see it filling up the properties, so you have the feeling that something is going on. So that's really amazing. So hopefully we can release it soon. But hopefully you can reach out to me to test it. The QR code was too short on screen to scan it probably. It's perplex.nl/codegarden-AI, but I will share it on the socials as well. It's really cool, saving a lot of time. So, to conclude, if I was Chief AI of Umbraco, this was a hard slide. I think I would start a discussion with all of you around here, but also other people in the community. Okay, which things add the most value to the end? Which aligns with our core values of being the friendly CMS? Which ideas can be improved, or which ideas are just crazy stupid and should go into a fridge? Probably I missed also a lot of stuff. But hopefully it can inspire package makers to think about this, and we can bring this further. As Chief of AI, I would also give some guidance on how to implement it. I started with the prompt builder, but also with the buttons, keep it generated, etc., to avoid making a circus into the back office. I would organize hackathons around this topic because it's really cool technology. And as a developer, everybody loves cool technology, and everybody is using AI, also content editors. What kind of tools are you using? Okay, does it make sense to integrate it or leave it in that tool? And I would start working, but yeah, we were so excited that we already started on saving this AI context that others can use when prompting to whatever tool they want. The smart copy functionality really saves a lot of time in making the content better. And the prompt builder thing, those would be my 3 topics that I would investigate most of the time on if I was chief AI of Umbraco. And the other option is clearly stating, okay, AI has a focus, but we're going to leave it up to you package developers. I know back in 2019, when I was sharing my dreams about new functionality, and Umbraco clearly stated, we are not going to do marketing or personalization. Well, that was for us the moment, okay, then we can invest a lot of crazy time into it, and we know that Umbraco is not coming up with something within 3 months, because that would be pretty useless. So, with that said, let's go to the future, and let's share our dreams with each other to get AI within the CMS.